Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. I am your host Tom Downey, here with the latest Cowboys Mailbag, one of my favorite segments here that we do at Chat Sports. So let's get into some of the questions here from Twitter and from our YouTube channel as well. First up, from Echelon 7 The Dark, asking if Dallas uses that 3-3-5 defense that I had suggested earlier this week on the Cowboys Report, who would be the zero technique or that nose guard? He suggests Antoine Woods, because he thinks Crawford's too small. And I think that that's pretty spot on if you're worried about the run. So here's kind of how I think it could set up here in a more of a base type package, more of a first down or a second down, where you do have the threat of the run. DeMarcus Lawrence, Antoine Woods, let's put Crawford there at defensive end, almost as a true 5 technique there. But if you wanted to get into more passing situations and you still wanted 3 linebackers out there, I would put the 2 backups in there at DT and defensive end. I'd throw in David Irving there as your nose guard, and I'd put Randy Gregory in as your edge rusher as an extra defensive end. It's not all that different than what the Cowboys did in that Deacon defense, that 3 down lineman, 2 linebacker, 6 defensive back setup. That's kind of the route I would go if I were the Cowboys. But I think in reality, you'd shuffle that defensive tackle, defensive end spot quite a bit if that's the defense you wanted to play more frequently. All right, Yogi Burr asking, who are my top 3 Cowboys players of 2018? I'll be honest, I did not answer this correctly because I had a tough time picking only 3 guys. I went with 5 guys, and you can debate some of the order. You can add other guys as well, but here are my top 5 guys this season. Number 1, DeMarcus Lawrence. So I think in general, I don't talk enough about, he has been fantastic this year. Byron Jones has balled out, has been a true number 1 corner. Everyone loves Leighton Vander Esch for a good reason right now. Zeke has been the focal point of the offense still. And let's not discount Zach Martin. Maybe not as good as he's been in years past, but he's playing through some knee injuries. Those are my top 5 guys. You can throw in some other players as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Who has been your top Cowboys player this season? Let me know in the comment section. You can make strong arguments for really all 5 of those guys that I just mentioned, plus some other guys as well. All right, folks, let's roll along here with some more Cowboys mailbag questions from Film Productions. Says, who are the 4 guys on the roster who have genuinely surprised me this year? Great question. I love that one. Couple of different guys, 2 of which we actually just mentioned. Leighton Vander Esch. Look, I liked him coming out. I gave the pick a C+. Some of you hate that now, which, okay, whatever. He was a top 28 guy for me on my board. I think he was number 26 overall. He is so much further advanced than I thought he was going to be. I thought coming out of Boise State with limited actual 11-on-11 experience, he would take more time. He hasn't. He looks already like a multi-year vet. I was pounding the table for Byron Jones to move to cornerback from safety. He has exceeded every expectation I've ever had for him. He has emerged suddenly and instantly as the legit outside number 1 cornerback. Pay the man. He is now your stud number 1 corner. Antoine Woods, wasn't sure he was going to make the roster. Instead, he has been that 1 technique, that run stopper that has played very, very well for the Cowboys. A massive surprise to me. I'm down to re-sign him. And Joe Looney has played better than I thought he was going to. I was real concerned about losing Travis Frederick. Although Looney is no Frederick, he's been a very, very quality player so far for the Cowboys. All right, folks, we are trying to get to 10K subscribers on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. Got some exclusive stuff up there for you guys that goes up first before we put it up on Facebook, like our Cowboys fan rumor segment as well. So go subscribe now, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. All right, next up from Juan says, can we get Kareem Hunt or Kelvin Benjamin? I'll give you the pass on Benjamin because this actually was mentioned before the Chiefs signed him. But either way, it's the same answer. I don't want these guys. I don't think they're any good. I don't want them on my roster. I don't think that Kelvin Benjamin is a good receiver. Pass. Kareem Hunt, it's not worth the headache. I don't want to deal with that. Jason Garrett says, we want the right kind of guy. I'm not sure how Kareem Hunt right now is that right kind of guy. He is not worth the headache for the Cowboys. He's talented. Yes, you could put him on the roster and he'd be a great player for you, but I don't think you want to add that and bring him into the fold right now. If you want another halfback, go draft someone in round 5. You'll find somebody that can fill that backup role to Zeke very well. And besides, do you really want to get Kareem Hunt work at the cost of Zeke Elliott? Yeah, they're both great, but let's just let Zeke eat instead. Let me know if you guys disagree, though. If you want Kareem Hunt, type yes, or type Y for yes, type N for no. All right, next up. How do I feel about paying big money to average quarterbacks like so many teams have done and killed the chance of winning a Super Bowl? I am waiting for the day. I don't know which team is going to do it, but somebody will. There will come a day where a team says, you know what? We're going to invest all of our money at non-quarterback spots. We're going to keep churning through first-year guys, cheap contracts, and not invest a ton of money. I don't know when it will happen, but I want to see it go down because I think it actually might work out. If you zig while everyone else is zagging in the NFL, you can have some success. Now, speaking of paying quarterbacks big money, at Dodal86 wants to know, with the Cowboys wanting to invest in Dak long-term, do they try to extend him a year early to save money? I think that is what the Cowboys plan. That's what they want to do. Now, Dak, again, is under contract through the 2019 season, but he is eligible for that extension after this year. And in theory, right, you're going to get maybe a bit of a hometown discount, a team-friendly contract. That's the goal, but I don't know if it's actually going to happen. Remember who Dak Prescott signed with. He changed agent, signed with CAA, who signed all the big quarterbacks to their big deals. The hope is that Dak takes a team-friendly deal. I don't know if you're going to, because the way the franchise tag works out, which you can use in 2020 and 21, or in 2021, you tag in those 2 years, you're looking at about $60 million for Dak Prescott. So all of a sudden, that's kind of your baseline for guaranteed money if you're Dak. Because what are the Cowboys going to do? Let you walk or what? So I am open to it if you can get a discount. I just worry that you're still going to pay top shelf money for a quarterback that I don't think is really truly deserving of that type of top shelf money. So how much do you think Dak Prescott is worth per year? If you can get an Alex Smith type contract, or if you want to go further back, an Andy Dalton type deal with limited guaranteed money that gives you some outs, I'm all for it. I just worry that it's going to be a $25 million, $27 million a year deal for Dak Prescott, which I don't know if that's the best route to spend if you're the Cowboys. I'd rather put that money elsewhere, given I think that as much as I like Dak, I think that's just too much money for a player of his caliber right now. All right, speaking of more contract stuff here, Manny Fresh asking, with those deals coming up with Dak and Zeke and Lawrence and Byron, I'll throw in Amari Cooper too, will the Cowboys have money to go after a big-name free agent? I think you can fit one guy into your contract, in your cap space. I think maybe it's an Earl Thomas, maybe it's somebody else, but the Amari Cooper trade, in reality, also was your big free agent acquisition because he's going to count a big chunk of the cap going forward. You can make it work. The Cowboys are not in cap hell. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But you're not going to be able to get a bunch of different guys. Maybe one, assuming you want to re-sign all of your good players currently on your roster. All right, folks, we're getting closer to the holidays. If you don't know what to get that guy, you'll have to get him a Mizzen and Main shirt. It's the best damn dress shirt out there. Comfortable.af is the site, and trust me, you will not find a more comfortable dress shirt than a Mizzen and Main shirt. Performance wear fit fabrics that are also made right here in America. Go check them out, comfortable.af. I'll keep it rolling now with some more mailbag questions. Back to Dodal again. Says, with the coaching staff not fully trusting Rico, is that more of an indictment on Rico or the coaches? Great question. It's a nuanced one, and the answer is kind of both, right? He's only played about 10 snaps per game, and of those snaps, the routes that he runs are about a third of that, which doesn't make any sense to me. So, yes, there is some blame for Rico for maybe not learning things as quickly as the Cowboys would have liked, or still being a raw player, because football's hard when you haven't played it in several years. I get that. But the coaches also get some blame as far as I'm concerned for their poor usage. Why is Rico being a blocker almost only? That doesn't make sense to me. I'll continue to pound the table here. Give Blake Jarwin snaps to Rico Gathers. I think it's a much more worthwhile investment both for your long-term and just for your current playing style. So let me know who you all blame more. I would assume most of you are going to pick coaches here. All right, Armando with a lengthy one asking that he is concerned about Tyron Smith for this year and next year because of the injuries, and that's a fair point, I think. So what can the Cowboys do to help him improve, and do you possibly move him inside or draft another OT? So injuries, yes, that is a big, big red flag for Tyron Smith. I understand why. He's been banged up a lot. Once your back starts to go, it typically doesn't really come back. But what if I told you that since Mark Colombo took over, Tyron's been great? What if I told you since Mark Colombo took over, he hasn't a lot of single pressure since the bye week when Colombo took over. So, yeah, he wasn't maybe as good earlier on in this year, but before he went down again, Tyron Smith was the Tyron Smith that we all know and love, a premier left tackle in the NFL. Now, as for the long-term stuff, do not be surprised if Dallas drafts a tackle, early day 3, late day 2 this year to get a potential swing tackle to groom, and if needed, to go for Tyron long-term. By the way, Connor Williams can also play left tackle if needed. All right, Taylor Phoenix next up here asks, if Cole Beasley walks in free agency, would we go after someone to replace him in the draft or free agency, or do we have someone on the roster already? I kind of don't think you have someone to replace Cole Beasley. At least not anywhere near the caliber of Cole Beasley. Now, he wants to get paid. That means the Cowboys might let him walk, because if he can get 8, 9, 10 million, Dallas might say, you know what, Cole, thank you. Go get that bag and cash in for your potentially last contract. And if Cole Beasley leaves, who's your slot guy? I think you're going to cut Allen Hurns. You're going to cut T-Will. Tavon might be back, and besides, Tavon is an outside guy anyway. Maybe Noah Brown gets more true receiver snaps. The Cowboys keep trying to make Lance Moore happen. I don't think that's the case at all. Wilson's an outside guy. So I think for the Cowboys' perspective there, maybe you look at a draft pick. Maybe you sign someone a little bit cheaper. But let me know, do you want the Cowboys to re-sign Cole Beasley? Type 1 for yes, bring him back for at least one more year. Or type 0 for no, you're just not all that interested in him. All right, from Aaron Kramer, a.k.a. AK-47, he wants to know why it's better to not have all three backers on the field at the same time versus a rotation. It depends on the situation, of course. Now, if you want to go with a 4-3 look, as weird as it sounds, who are you going to play at the Sam spot? I would put Jalen Smith there and let him be almost an edge guy, but Damian Wilson plays that role and does a fine job, and I think that you can't put LVE there or Sean Lee there. It's just not who they are as players. And again, strong side backer and weak side backer, those are two different spots. Now, I am all for the 3-3-5 look, as I've said before. And then for the rotation part of it, well, keep them all fresh, right? Keep them ready and rested for the fourth quarter when it really matters. And oh, by the way, if you're going to pull somebody off the field, well, you typically would prefer a corner coming in on the field for a linebacker just for coverage purposes, because you don't want to have Sean Lee matched up against the slot receiver. You don't want Sean Lee on Golden Tate this week. Let's just put it that way. Speaking of this week, predict the score. Cowboys versus Eagles. DM me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. If you are the first one to get it right, I will send you guys $25. You got to be the first one to get it right and tell me the team that's winning. Sometimes you guys just send me a score and I go, okay, who's going to win? I can't give you credit there. So again, DM me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney with your score prediction. All right, from Earn the Star, will the Cowboys franchise Byron Jones or DeMarcus Lawrence? Well, Byron Jones is under contract next year via that fifth-year option on his first-year contract, so he is not really an option. DeMarcus Lawrence, meanwhile, if it comes to it, the Cowboys will tag Tank. One thing just to be wary of and monitor and all that, DeMarcus Lawrence does not want to be tagged again. And if he does get tagged again, it's going to be a problem. He showed up and got paid and didn't raise any fuss about it this year. If it happens again next year, he's going to raise a fuss, and you could have a big problem there for the Cowboys in the front office if Tank hasn't signed his franchise tag and we get to preseason or whatever. So monitor that going forward, but in the end, just pay the man. He is an incredible defensive end. He's the war daddy that Jerry Jones has so wanted. Pay the man. He's worth it. They should have signed him last year, as I had said. Anyway. All right, folks, once again, I am Tom Downey. Go follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. Stay tuned for After the Game. We'll have highlights from Cowboys and the Eagles.